Thank you for downloading this Council on Foreign Relations podcast. CFR is an independent national membership organization and nonpartisan research center.
Good morning. My name is Lori Garrett, and you are here in the Council on Foreign Relations in New York. I am the Senior Fellow for Global Health here at the Council on Foreign Relations. With us today is a stellar group of scientists, analysts, journalists, and as usual at the Council on Foreign Relations, a highly diverse and intelligent audience.
John Moore from Cornell Medical School. So I think we're all aware that the anti-vaccine movement is having a field day on the internet and on media outlets like Fox News and so on, and causing reductions in vaccine uptake. And it appears to be a pretty unholy alliance of the ultra-right and the ultra-left working together in a sort of Hitler-Stalin pact. And I'm not sure that we're countering these people very well. And you have to take these people on in a different style than scientists are used to. We have to develop better sound bites, we have to develop better discussion, or you can't really debate these people, but you have to develop better counter methods. And for example, you hear that we shouldn't take flu vaccines because the mercury will kill us. Well, Paul Offit in the New York Times last week pointed out that there is less mercury in a flu shot than there is in a tuna fish sandwich. And that's a powerful soundbite to use against the crazy people.
Are you getting the swine flu vaccine?
No, I got the Superman gene. I never get sick.
The only time I took a flu vaccination, it made me sick. And I don't want to get like that no more, so I'll take my chances.
No one is really stating the risk behind it. So I'm not going to be a guinea pig for anyone, so I'm not getting it.
We don't know how the vaccination has been done.
So is the vaccination scarier than the flu?
Yes.
I feel like we got a little crazy with this.
Why did we get crazy with this?
I think the media hypes up stuff, and everything takes on these epic proportions, so...
Deal with the crazy people, deal with the crazy people, deal with the crazy people, deal with the crazy people.
As to who's to blame for all the hype, everyone seems to agree that's the mainstream media's fault.
The president now declaring the H1N1 outbreak a national emergency. The White House says the president signed this proclamation last night. It will allow medical officials to bypass certain federal requirements. Some officials describe this move as being similar to a declaration ahead of a hurricane.
As I said when we saw the first cases of this virus back in the spring, I don't want anybody to be alarmed, but I do want everybody to be prepared.
Despite being a not terribly dangerous virus in and of itself on a scale of influenza dangers.
Having said that, it lacks certain signatures, certain molecular signs which are associated with the 1918 pandemic strain, the 1957 and the 1968. And that is one of the genes, it's a short one, it has a technical name, PP1F2, and that is missing in the 2009 virus.
We're also making steady progress on developing a safe and effective H1N1 flu vaccine, and we expect a flu shot program will begin soon. This program will be completely voluntary, completely voluntary, completely voluntary, completely voluntary, completely voluntary.
Good morning, Rory Lanceman. I'm a member of the New York State Assembly. We had a hearing, a 12-hour hearing on H1N1 earlier this week, and much of it focused on the mandatory vaccination that the New York State Department of Health has ordered of almost all healthcare workers in New York State. And I was wondering if you could offer an opinion on whether you think such a policy is effective and sound.
I have a very strong opinion, and that is I think that's appropriate.
Completely voluntary, completely voluntary, completely voluntary, completely voluntary.
The news media is hyping the swine flu as though it's the next death mission, and everybody's getting frightened. And
do you agree with that?
No, I don't. From what I've seen, certainly some vulnerable people have died, but not masses of people like the Black Plague or anything.
I think what would work better would be to say that there was a shortage and people tend to line up more for something that in demand. We saw that there was one season where really people lined up all night to get a flu shot, and I mean.
And with supplies of the vaccine running low, doctors around the country are now finding themselves overrun with nervous parents. Here's ABC's Rachel Martin.
For weeks, doctors' offices around the country have been fielding a flurry of phone calls.
We do not have any of the H1N1 available at our office at this time.
Telling patients the same thing.
We are out of the flu shot vaccine right now.
8 a.m. the next day, Swanson is in the office calling patients to tell them the vaccine is in, but supplies won't last.
And we need to protect Michael. He's going to be one of those kids that could end up in the hospital, and I don't think we want that.
By 10 a.m., the waiting room is full.
With the vaccine now in short supply, parents are lining up in doctors' offices like this one, hoping to get their questions answered and their kids vaccinated.
I think what would work better would be to say that there was a shortage and people tend to line up more for something that in demand. We saw that there was one season where really people lined up all night to get a flu shot, and I mean.
Do you think that the people who are making it are putting it out in controlled amounts so that it is producing this demand?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's the drug companies that are making money at this. Who's making money at the end of the day?
Shout, shout, talk about it, say something. That's right there. You heard that, louder, it's the big mouth. Shout, talk about it, say something. That's right there. You heard